everyone, I hope you guys are doing really well. Welcome to another video, and today I'll be sharing with you the new Flipper Remastered Collection, which is releasing tomorrow, the 4th of June. So I was very kindly given a key to this, so huge thank you to Frozen District and Frozen Way for gifting me a key to the game. So in this video I'll be chatting a little bit about the Remastered Collection and what it has in terms of like homes, jobs, and my opinions and thoughts while I was playing, as well as I'll be renovating one of my favorite homes as I chat about things. So I hope you enjoy the video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment. Let me know your thoughts on a remaster, if you have any plans to get it. If you do get it and you decide to come back to this video after or anything, let me know in the comments what you think about it. So before we jump in and start talking about like the remaster and what it has to offer and stuff, I just wanted to chat a little bit about the house I'll be renovating. So the house I've chose to renovate is the Old Port Warehouse, which is one of my favorites, and I'm gonna be sticking with the theme to it. So it already has sort of, it's a warehouse style home, so that's the sort of style that I'm going for, like an industrial warehouse style. It's going to have 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 office, 2 balconies, and a large sort of like living, dining, kitchen area, as well as like a little like patio out the back with a fireplace and stuff like that. So I was going to do one of the new homes because there are some homes that are new specifically for the remastered collection and they're not in like the original, but I wanted to do a sort of like smaller build. I mean, this one's still kind of big, but I haven't done this one in a really long time, so I wanted to give it another go, and I've been really tempted to build this in Flipper too, so I might do that at some point. But yeah, that is the house that we are going to be renovating throughout this video while I chat and share some bits and bobs and stuff like that. So yeah, so with that out of the way, let's just get in and start talking about the actual Flipper Remastered Collection. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Remastered Collection is a collection of the original Flipper game and all of its DLCs, so Pets DLC, Farm DLC, and so on. Depending on how many DLCs you already own, depends on the discount you will get on the Collector's Edition. Obviously, if you have all 6 of the DLCs, like from the original, then that's gonna be the biggest savings. It's also being developed by Frozen Way and not Frozen District. They seem to be separate now since Flipper 2 come out, so the team that have made Flipper 2 are not really involved from my understanding in the Flipper Remastered Collection. So they're like 2 different teams now. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding of it. So the Flipper 2 team don't have anything to do with this remastered collection. So showing you like the main menu and stuff here, there's 2 different modes that you can play, one of which is a classic mode where you start with no funds. So if I go to new game, here we have the 2 different modes. One of them is a classic challenge from scratch. You start with no funds and must unlock all skills, tools, and jobs on your own. And then there's a free play option, which is enjoy complete freedom of action. All skills, tools, and jobs are unlocked from the very beginning, along with extra cash. You can still do the jobs in like the free play mode. It doesn't mean that the jobs are like automatically complete, it just means that all of them are unlocked, so you can go around and you can do whichever job you want first. If there's like a specific house that you would like, you can go in and you can do the job to that house so that you can get that house and then buy it and start renovating it, stuff like that. The funds that you get are not like tons and tons. I think it was about $500,000, I think, or like 400,000. Even though in free play mode you do also still have to do some of the jobs in order to unlock certain things. So you still need to do the first sort of like farm DLC job and the first pets DLC job to be able to get pets and farm animals and stuff like that, and also to unlock like Morgan's Pet Care, where you can then like get a bunch of different pets and the farm animals and stuff like that. So you still need to do these 2 jobs, complete the first Cozy Village job and complete the first Maple Bloom Village job. So those you do still need to do. but everything else is sort of like a fair game. So like if I wanted to come over to the Moonrise Bay and scroll all the way down and do this one here straight away, I can do that in the free play mode, whereas before you kind of like, this area is locked and you kind of have to do all of these ones, or not all of them, but you have to do like the first few, and then it starts to unlock different areas of the map and stuff like that. But if you go into free play, you can literally go to whichever section you want and do whichever job you want, as they're all technically like unlocked. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that is the free play. And then obviously if you wanted to do it sort of like vanilla story mode, then you have to go through the jobs in the order that like the game makes you go through the jobs. And in free play, because all of the jobs are like already unlocked, all of the houses and stuff are also unlocked. So here is a list of all of the houses and stuff that you can buy. So it just means obviously the way that House Flipper works, even House Flipper 2, you do the job and then you're able to buy the house that like goes with that job once you have finished the job. That's the same here as well, but in free play they're literally just all here unlocked for you. Obviously some of them are quite expensive. This one here is like almost $1 million, and the funds it gives you to start off with is, like I said, it's about 400,000 or like $500,000 or whatnot. So obviously you would still need to like buy a house and like renovate it and sell it to get some more money to be able to buy like all of them. It doesn't give you like tons and tons of money, but it's enough to buy. You could still buy like quite a few houses, especially like these smaller ones or empty plots and stuff like that. So that's the two different game modes that you can play. You can have like multiple saves. At the moment I do have one which is story mode, and I also have one which is free play, which is what I'm actually doing, the renovation that you guys will be seeing on screen while we chat about some stuff. I did choose free play just because I wanted the houses unlocked and I wanted to choose a different house. Like I said, I was going to choose a new one, but I decided to go for one of my favorites instead. So how many jobs are there? There's 113 jobs that I counted. I counted them twice. I hope I'm not wrong. And some of which are not in the original one. So if we go to the map, this section over here, the Heart Valley, all of these jobs in here are new ones. These are new specifically to the Remastered Collection, and they're not in the original one. So yeah, all of these jobs, and obviously they come with new houses. This one here was in the demo, if anybody ever played the demo. So was this one, but this one's new. I'm really interested in this one. I actually kind of like that one. And then this one here I'm also really interested in. It's like the cliff house, but I like the look of that one. But yeah, all of these houses and jobs here are new specifically to the Remastered Collection. So Flipperburg over here is the Dine Out DLC area. If you go through these jobs, the way it worked is you had you could get recipes from these jobs, and you can still like collect those recipes now. If I go back and we go into here in the cookbook, these ones here are sort of like not found yet, and these are the ones that we can find while doing the dine out jobs, sorry. So those recipes are the ones that you can find while doing the jobs for the Dine Out DLC. Obviously, like, it's the Remastered Collection. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys and being like, oh, this is the Dine Out section. All of the DLCs are included in the Remastered Collection. It's just that like this zone over here is sort of like specific to the Dine Out stuff. So it's a lot of like people wanting restaurants and stuff like that be made. So hopefully that makes sense. I believe the Moonrise Bay is the like luxury section, which is one of my favorites. I believe this one's the one that I'm renovating at the moment. This one here, and this one's also like a favorite. I did like a mid-century build of that one. Sorry, I'm getting very sidetracked. So yeah, that's the Dine Out DLC. And then the Maple Bloom Village. This is where we get the stuff for the farm DLC. So in order to, even in free play, in order to be able to like get farm animals and stuff like that, you at least need to do the first job, and then you'll be able to start buying some like cows and chickens and different things like that, and they do give you like milk and stuff. That's part of the farm DLC, you know, from the original, so that's in the remaster as well. And then Maple Bloom Village, which is, where's Maple Bloom? Oh sorry, that was Maple Bloom. The Cozy Village is the pets DLC. So in order to be able to like get pets and unlock being able to get a lot of different pets and stuff, you need to at least do this first job here, where you find your first little puppy, which is so cute. But yeah, so you have to do that, and then once you do that, you can then go into the pet care and adopt as many doggos and stuff that you would like. There are also other animals. I think there's like lizards and stuff like that. Normally I just go for the dogs. But yeah, that's a little bit about the map and the different jobs. So yeah, there's a lot of jobs, 113 jobs. So that's a little bit about the jobs and the map and stuff like that. So these houses here, the Heart Valley ones, these are the ones from the Heart Valley section. And then once you do the jobs that correspond to these, you unlock these houses to be able to purchase. These are, from what I understand, specific to the Remaster Collection, so these aren't in the original. This one here is the most expensive one, but this one here looks really nice, and so do these two. But yeah, all of these are new and specific to the Remaster Collection. This one is just like a little barn, and then this one's a empty plot, which is really nice. So in total there are 130 plots and homes to purchase and renovate. 20 of those are purely empty plots where you can build your own homes from scratch, though once you unlock the building tool you can add extensions or build other rooms on like most maps that already have homes on them. Some of the ones that you can't custom build on are the yacht, the UFO home, the apartments, the Let It Snow house, Forgotten Shanties, and Samara Maya's house, and a few others. You can tell which ones you're able to custom build on by looking at the top left corner of the one you want to purchase. If it has a little blueprint image and it says house building, you can custom build / like add an extension to the existing house if you wanted to. If it doesn't have that symbol, then you can't add like a custom building to that specific map. There's actually a lot more empty plots for custom building with the remake. The original, I believe we only had 3 plots to choose from if we wanted to do like a fully custom build from scratch with like nothing already on the map. I remember building a Privet Drive in House Flipper way before House Flipper 2 come out, and it's a much bigger challenge to do custom builds in the original than it is the second one, and it was really fun to try and make that house. It was also a suggestion, and I really really enjoyed doing that. A little sidetrack, but I'll link that below if anyone wanted to check that out. But yeah, that was really cool to do. So yeah, there's a lot of different empty plots with the remaster. We never had a snowy empty plot in the original, and we seem to have a couple of snowy plots with the remaster, which is really nice. We've got one called Whispering Forest and another one called the Winter Nook. The Leica painting one was always my go-to whenever I wanted to custom build something in the original. I kind of miss it. But the environment for that seemed kind of like a little bit taxing as well. It would lag sometimes if I made the house a little bit too big. But yeah, the Leica painting one is still there. And then I think the other original ones that we had are still there as well. I think there was the Spruce Hideout one and the Country Idol one. I think those were the 3 originals. But now we also have one that's like a island, which is really cool, which is called the Blue Haven. We've got some more like emptier sort of like green ones, and we've got like a potential yacht club one, which is a little empty plot with a deck to lead out to a boat or something. There's also a parking lot, which we do actually have a parking lot empty plot in House Flipper 2 now as well. I believe that come with the Sakura DLC. But yeah, lots of empty plots to choose from if you like to custom build in the original, or you just want to try it out and stuff like that from like complete scratch and not just like add on to a house. So there's a nice amount of empty plots in the remaster. So like with the original, you can buy homes, sell them, renovate them, build like custom ones. You can also sell the custom ones and also rent out properties. The renting is something new that they added to the original. I believe it was with the Dine Out DLC, or it was like a free update. I'm not entirely sure, but I know it was one of the newer updates. So if you're like me and you hate selling the houses once you've put like tons of effort into them, you can rent them out, and they will get you some money depending on like how long you rent them out for and so on. Obviously it's like it's not as much money as if you were to just like sell the house straight up, but if you don't like to sell them, which I don't like to do, then you know it's a nice workaround if you ever want to like go back and revisit one or anything like that. There are some new items with the collection that are not in the original game as well, such as like new little plants that are actually really adorable. Some other items like a crafting desk, paints, sewing machine, crayon set and more. Apparently there are over 800 new items to go with the lovely content, which includes those 6 new jobs in the Heart Valley map area that you can do. With the original, you could also download items from the Steam Workshop that others have uploaded. Honestly, that was one of my favorite things for the original. I had so many custom items, so many of them. Some of the ones that people had uploaded were just really cool, and I used to love using them in my builds. Of course, it was like limited to PC, which is unfortunate for console players. However, at the moment, I don't have any mods, so as you guys are watching me decorate the warehouse, there's no mods or anything in here, so everything that I'm putting out is just like it's in the game. It's come out with the Remastered Collection. So yeah, all of the items there's no mods. I don't know if the Remaster Collection will have mods like the original. I imagine so, but I'm not 100% sure. You can still add custom images though, but they seem to be limited to 200. I don't remember the original having a limit to how many sort of like custom images you can have. It might have had a limit, but I did go in and see, and I couldn't see a limit. But with this one, there's like a clear limit when you go to like put a poster or a custom picture or anything up. It's a limit out of 200, and that also includes when you actually take photos using the tablet as well. So there does seem to be a limit to the amount of photos that you can have, so like custom in the game. Of course you can like delete some and then add others, stuff like that, but there is a limit. There is a section in the laptop for imported houses, so you can transfer homes between different saves, which I thought was pretty cool. And we can also rename homes now, which is really nice if you have multiple of the same house with different themes. I know, like in the original, I would have so many versions of the first office or like the smaller properties, because honestly they're my favorites to do. I absolutely love building and decorating the smaller homes and everything, and I would have so many of them, and trying to get to the right one that I needed to get to was sometimes a pain in the butt, because it would always be taking me to like the same house, which is pretty annoying. But now we can rename them. It will be a lot easier to find the one that I want to go to. So I'm not entirely sure, but with the imported houses and stuff like that, I don't know if the remaster is going to have some sort of like mod IO support. I genuinely have no idea if that would be the case, if you could like download versions of other people's houses that they've done. But you can, like, houses that you've done on one save, you can so like export them and you can put them into another save of your own. So that would be interesting, I guess, if that's your thing. Personally, the whole like mod.io stuff is not it's not something that I'm particularly interested in, but I know it's quite popular among like the House of 2 community. But I don't know if this one will have that sort of like support, so don't quote me on it. That's just me speculating with the whole like being able to import and export houses. I am not entirely sure. So I could be completely wrong with that, so don't quote me on it. I'm not entirely sure. So I just wanted to do a little like off topic, well, I mean it's kind of off topic, but it's still to like do with like House Flipper and the House Flipper franchise and stuff like that. But I just wanted to give like a couple of opinions that maybe nobody cares about, but it's fine. If we do have the same opinion, let me know in the comments, because I'd actually be really interested. But just like a personal thing, I think coming into House Flipper 2 from the original and everything like that, I just personally, I don't like comparing the original with the second one. I know it's really easy to like compare the two, and don't get me wrong, there are some parts of 2 that would be great in the first one. However, I really like that they are different, and I just like to think of them as completely different games because they are very different to each other. Of course, they have similarities in the way of like renovating, building, selling, building like custom homes, doing jobs for customers. Of course, both have similar mechanics in like how tools are used and stuff like that, but honestly that's kind of where the similarities end. Their styles are very different. How the tools work is very different as well. Obviously in House Flipper we have the like assembling stuff. In House Flipper 2 you don't need to assemble items and stuff to install them and everything like that, and they just work very differently to me. One has a lot more freedom than the other, and like so on. So it's just like a personal thing. I don't like to think of them as the same. I don't like to compare them to each other too much. I know like sometimes when I go back to the original, I think that I can do something because I've been playing House Flipper 2, but it turns out that I can't. But yeah, it's just something like a personal preference thing that I just don't like to compare them to each other because they are so different. And this is the OG game, so yeah, I don't think it's fair to compare them too much. It's just like one of those like little personal preference opinions things. It's just personally to me, if I'm playing one, I don't want to be comparing it to the other one just because they are very different to each other. Let me know in the comments if you're the same. That's just like how I feel about it. I've been a huge House Flipper fan since the first game came out, and I've played since the end of 2018, so the same year that the original came out is when I started to play it, and I've watched it progress from like hardly any items. It was so incredibly limited, and then like DLCs would come out, and then new items would come out, new houses, everything like that. So the original honestly just holds a special place in the like set of games that I will always enjoy. I mean, House Flipper 2 is definitely up there as well, but having followed the sort of like House Flipper franchise literally from the beginning and watching the first one sort of like, you know, develop into what it was, and now they're bringing out the remaster, and then House Flipper 2 come out, and so on. I don't know, it's just one of those things that sort of like, you've been there from the beginning, so you kind of like, you got like a sweet spot for it, I guess. But yeah, I am pretty obsessed with House Flipper 2, honestly. I've I've got so much, like, I've got so much in that game and everything, and I know from comments that I've had personally on different videos of my own and in Steam discussions that I've seen, there are people that have jumped into House Flipper 2 and they have never played the original. There are people who love the original and don't like House Flipper 2. There are others that want House Flipper 1 mechanics in House Flipper 2, and so on. So it's a big, like, mixed bag. Of course, everybody has their own opinions and nobody is wrong or right. Like, we like what we like, okay? Then there are people like myself who, like, love both games, and there's nothing wrong with liking one more than the other. You enjoy what you enjoy at the end of the day. But I don't know, I just wanted to put this in here just because I don't think it's fair if you're going to play the remaster, if you're gonna be sort of like thinking to yourself, like, comparing it to House Flipper 2. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm really hoping that this section doesn't come across too harsh, because I'm really not trying to be like harsh. We all got different opinions. If you don't like the remaster, if you don't like the original but you adore House Flipper 2, that's absolutely fine. Like, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But yeah, sorry, just a little tangent there. Ultimately, I guess I don't think it's fair to compare the two together. Although they are similar in some ways, they are very, very different in other ways, as well as the fact that they are now, like, developed by two different teams. So the Frozen Way team have taken over and they're doing the remaster, and then obviously Frozen District are doing House Flipper 2. So they are two different teams, and yeah, I would hate for them to just become carbon copies of each other. I guess that's kind of what I'm really getting at. So I don't want them to be identical, just like a personal opinion, personal preference, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this little, like, tangent. As I said, I really, really hope that it hasn't come across too mean. I'm really not trying to, like, be mean. I just wanted to share my thoughts and, like, opinions on it, as sometimes I do see things where they do get, like, compared and stuff, and it's just something that I don't like doing. So I'd really like to know your thoughts on it and everything like that. If we agree, that's great. If we don't agree, that's also great. We're all entitled to enjoy the games that we enjoy and everything like that. So yeah, you're not wrong and I'm not wrong, okay? we might just have different opinions, and that's fine. But yeah, anyway, sorry for that. Let's get back into the game. Some things that I have noticed about the remaster while I was playing and renovating the warehouse is the footsteps sometimes seem to be doubled. You will probably be able to hear it while I'm building, unfortunately. I did turn down the game audio slightly to try and help with that, but it mainly happens when walking upstairs. I was noticing it. It was sort of like double steps as I was going up the stairs, and it was kind of like you were bonking up the stairs, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was just a little bit irritating. The lighting to me is still a little bit weird. Some items are honestly blindingly bright in some instances, like the tiles in the kitchen. When I was doing that, they are so white. Like, I'm pretty sure it was the herringbone style tiles, and I could barely see that they had, like, the detail of the herringbone pattern on them. I kind of had to get, like, really, really close. Though I do like the warmth that some of the lights have. Some lights give a more sort of like orangey tone, and others are more so like bright white, but it's kind of hit and miss as to which lights give you what kind of light, if that makes sense. However, saying that, not all but some of the lights, you can change the intensity and the color of them, which is great. I absolutely love that, but it's not for every single light, which I feel like is a bit weird. I don't know if they're still just like working through it, and they're like every single light will have that feature eventually, but at the moment, from what I've seen and what I've tried to test it with the different lights that I put in this build and stuff, some lights you can change the like color of, and then other lights you can't, which is a little bit weird, maybe a little bit annoying. But yeah, that's not available with every single light from what I have seen and just been playing around with anyway. So when I normally play, even in the original, I play with the time of day disabled. It's just, again, a personal preference thing. I don't like decorating and doing something and then all of a sudden it's nighttime and everything's really dark, and then it comes morning again and I might not like the colors or stuff like that. It's just personal preference again. I just like to play with the time of day disabled, as it kind of like, it gives more of like a midday look, and it gives just all-rounded nice light to the whole build. But it seems to be in this build specifically that I was doing, the old port warehouse, it seems to I had the time of day disabled for most of this build, and it seemed like it was more of like a sunset time of day, which was a little bit annoying because obviously it was more like, it was dark. Don't get me wrong, like some of the lighting in this is very nice. I think that's something that I do really love about House Flipper 2, is being able to choose the time of day and stuff in sandbox mode. But yeah, with this one, like the lighting, it looked beautiful. It was like a nice orangey sunset, stuff like that. But it wasn't, to me, having the time of day disabled, because normally disabled is kind of like midday. It gives, you know, like midday, the brightest time, the brightest time of day. But for this build, weirdly, it seemed to be more of like a sunset. Or like maybe a sunset or sunrise, I don't know. It was just very more orangey than it was nice lighting up the whole house. And while I was decorating the garden specifically for this build, I was really struggling to see, even with the flashlight on. So a couple of clips throughout this video, and especially the tour, you might be able to see that the time of day does change, and I ended up going for real time instead. So like my time in the UK, I was playing it in the morning, so the sun was like morning sun. It's like real time. I think that's something that is really cool about the original, is that you can have like real time lighting. So, you know, it takes into consideration where you are. If where you are at the moment is dark, then the game would be dark. If where you are at the moment is like morning time, then it would be like morning light and stuff like that. I really do like that for the original. But yeah, for the tour for this, I did do it in the morning and I had it as real time. Okay, this is gonna be so random, and I'm just gonna like interject here. I've been doing this like little voiceover while I've been in the remaster, and I've just been staring at the laptop, and all of a sudden, very randomly, some houses have gone on sale, which I have never seen before. So I just wanted to add that in here. I've never seen that. Like these 4 houses here seem to be on a sale, which is kind of cool. I don't know if that's a new thing. Maybe if you stare at the laptop long enough with a bunch of houses open, they go on sale. I don't know what has caused this, but I just randomly saw it and I wanted to share it with you. So we've got like we've got a 9% sale, 6%, 7%, and 5%. So that's pretty cool. I've never seen the houses go on sale like that before. But sorry. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. I just saw that randomly and wanted to pop it in here. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. I did come across a bug with the tiles and duplicating them. So duplicating items is a new feature for the remaster, and duplicating the tile, it seemed to only duplicate the one tile, and I think that was partly my fault because it wasn't a stack of tiles. So I was thinking to myself it would duplicate them and it would duplicate it and turn it into a stack, but it was just duplicating the single tile, which was a little bit annoying. But you know, I think that's just like me not quite, you know, it's duplicating the one tile and not all of a sudden going to turn it into a stack of tiles. But when I was duplicating it, one tile, it was on the floor and I couldn't pick it up, and then it turned bright pink and it was like it was missing a texture, and I couldn't sell it, which was also annoying. So I had to exit back to the main menu and then go back into the game, and it was gone. So it was just like a little bug, which was just like a little inconvenience, I guess. It wasn't like super like game breaking or anything like that. It was just a bit inconvenient. So for the tools, I love the modifier tool. So the modifier tool is new to the remaster, and you can modify items. Obviously, you can use it, you can click on the item and it will come up with, when you're in the store, obviously you get like different categories of colors and stuff to choose from, so you can do that with this tool on the fly rather than having to go into the store and constantly rebuy the item because you don't like the color and yada yada. Honestly, I really like that new tool. However, it doesn't seem to work with every single item, which is a shame. I did notice that when the demo came out, it didn't work with every single item then either. I don't know if, again, it's something that they will, they will do it so it does work with every single item in the future, but while I was doing this build and stuff, it wasn't working with every single item, which is a little bit annoying. It didn't work with the blinds or the plant pots. It didn't work with the bar chairs, specifically the ones that I used in this build, as it did seem to work with other bar chairs, but the bar chairs that I used, they do have multiple colors. Obviously, if an item doesn't have multiple colors, obviously it's not going to work, but they did have multiple colors, so it was weird that it would just seem to work with some colors and some items, and it wouldn't work with others. The decorative tray I used in the kitchen, as well as the bowls I used in the kitchen, they can change color, but for some reason the modifier tool was not working on them. Of course, I've not checked every single item in the game because there are literally thousands of them, but those are some of the ones that I noticed while I was doing this house that the modifier tool doesn't seem to work with, which is a shame. So it's like with the light intensity, it's just odd that it doesn't seem to work with every single item and it only works with some items. Like I said, if the item, because there are some items in the game that physically do not have multiple colors to them. Obviously, if it was one of those items, I would understand. But as the items that I was trying it on, some of them would work, some of them wouldn't work. But I know that they both are able to have like different colors of them and stuff. So it was just a little bit weird and stuff. But yeah, but the modifier tool is really nice. And obviously, like I briefly mentioned, we do have a duplicate tool. So you get the tool out and you duplicate the item, and then it like pops up and stuff. If you do want multiple of that item, you do have to keep duplicating it, that I've seen. It's not like you duplicate it once and sometimes when you have items, it's not all items, I don't think, but some of them you'll place it down, but then it will still be in your hands, so you can place like multiple of said item. It's not like that. It's like you're duplicating it, so it's literally just like the one item. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you did want multiple of it, but you don't want to go back into the store, you have to get the tool out, duplicate it, place it down, get the tool out, duplicate it, place it down. Hopefully that makes sense. But those are two new tool additions, which are pretty handy, I think, because going into the tablet and stuff, it's very lengthy, I feel, in the original. It's something why, like, way back when is when I started to chop out the whole store section in my builds, because like browsing through the store and everything like that, it would just sometimes take so long, and I could be in the store for like a solid 10 minutes, and I didn't want to keep that in, so yeah. That's why I decided to, now I just chop out the whole store, no matter what sort of like house flipper I'm playing. You can take some really nice photos with the tablet in the remaster. You could always take photos with the tablet in the original as well, but I don't remember it ever having sort of like different presets and effects and all that kind of stuff. You can change the time of day and all that kind of good stuff, so you can get some really nice photos and stuff if that's something that you like. Honestly, I love taking screenshots in games. I'm kind of like a screenshot goblin. I don't know, I just absolutely love them, and it's just nice to like look back on them and stuff. So I take a lot of screenshots in a lot of the games that I play, not just House Flipper and stuff. But yeah, having a nice sort of like, I guess, photo mode or the tablet. You can't fly or anything in this unless you use like console commands or you use the drone, but the drone is actually still kind of laggy. But the tablet photo mode is really nice. You do have different presets and effects and stuff like that. So you've got like neutral, you've got clean architecture, soft cinematic, warm interior, cold interior, cyberpunk night, muted realism, vintage film, desaturated drama, high contrast black and white, soft film black and white, stylized pop, washed highlights, dark moody, extreme analog, and then just like the default one. So there's a lot of different settings, and you can change the exposure, the contrast, the hue, saturation, grayscale, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to mess around with if you enjoy taking photos in that of your builds. So I thought that was a nice touch. And as I briefly mentioned earlier on in the video, there is a limit to 200 photos in the tablet. So that combines the photos that you take with the tablet, as well as the photos that you put into the game, like custom images and stuff like that. So that's like a 200 limit with those combined. Of course, you can like delete them, or you can go into like the where they are in the files on your computer or whatnot, and like move them out to a different folder if you wanted to keep them, but get back the space to add more photos or take more photos with the tablet and stuff like that. But that's just something that I did notice. As I also did mention, I don't remember the original having a cap. I did load it up, but I couldn't see like a limit anywhere, so I don't think that the original has a cap to how many photos and stuff you can put into the game, but it could be like an invisible cap. But this one at least tells you how many spaces you have out of the 200. So that's the majority of like talking about the game as a whole, I guess, like the jobs and just different things like that. So I just wanted to finish this off with a sort of like overall opinions and stuff like that after playing the remaster and finishing this renovation of the house that I've chose. So my overall opinions on the remaster after playing some jobs and doing this renovation you're seeing, it's fine, but personally, if I was going to play House Flipper 1 and renovate a home, I would choose the original and not the remaster. I don't know. I want to be like obviously as honest as possible. That's just me. But yeah, honest opinion, that is my honest opinion. If I wanted to play the original House Flipper, and yeah, I would rather play the OG from 2018 than the remaster here. It's not awful, like I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And like it looks nice. I said in the demo of like my demo video where I did like the comparisons and stuff like that as well, and I still stand by that. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some great additions like the duplicate, modify items, and rather than like needing to go into the store and buy the same item over and over again just to choose a different color. But some of the items just seem to still have lost detail to me. Like some items, yeah, look great and detailed, but others just seem to have really lost details, and the whites are just blinding sometimes. Like the tiles in the kitchen, I could hardly tell what they were. Even in like the original, I can like tell what they are, and they look really nice and stuff like that. So it just seems to be overall like a hit and miss for me personally. Again, we all have different opinions. Some of you might absolutely love this, which is great. I love that for you. But for me, I don't know, it just seems hit and miss. I like it, but I just don't love it. Also, as I briefly mentioned as well about like the modifying tool and the lighting tool being able to change the light intensity and the like colors of some items without going back into the store, it just seems weird that it doesn't happen with every single item. Like there are still some items where that's not the case with, and some lights you can't change the intensity of, and some lights you can. And to me, that specific like part just feels a little bit unfinished. Like, why is it that I can do it with some items and I can't do it with other items when I know I can change the color on both of them? And then the same with the lights. Why can't I like change the intensity of the lights? It could be something that they are still working on, so I could be like saying this and then later down the line every single light will be able to change like the color of and stuff like that. But at the moment, this is just like my very first sort of like opinions of having like hands-on with the remaster, and just from like what I've seen, the fact that you can do it with some items but not others is a little bit weird and annoying, and it just seems maybe a little bit unfinished. And as someone who has played the original since its release year, like I have been playing House Flipper since 2018, and I've watched it come out with new DLCs, free items and so on. It's just a little bit disappointing. The overall look of the game is nice. Like it's very photorealistic and it looks beautiful. Like it does look really nice. Comparing especially like the exterior of buildings, I've found when I've been going backwards and forwards between the original and the remaster, like the buildings, they do look really, really nice, and the photos and the screenshots and stuff like that. And I'm a screenshot fiend, as I said. Like I'm a little screenshot goblin. I have been for years. I just love taking screenshots in different games, and I love looking at old screenshots of like builds that I've done or just in other games and all that kind of stuff. If you've been here for a while, you know I love making my builds look as realistic as possible, like somebody actually lives there. So the overall look is great, but part of me feels like it's literally just a filter, and although it looks fantastic for screenshots and just if you want to like stand still and look at the environment and look at the house that you've made and you've put tons and tons of effort into, it's still unfortunate that some bugs still exist that were in the original. And that's partly why sometimes it makes me feel like this is just like, it's just the skin on the old game. It's just like a visual skin on the old game. The bones of the old game are there, which, you know, would make sense. But it is just a shame that some things are still an issue from the original into the remaster. And that's the biggest thing for me, why I feel like it's just a visual thing and nothing else has really been changed. I mean, the whole thing about the remaster is that it's a refreshed visuals and UI, enjoy improved graphics, modernized lighting, and a cleaner, more intuitive interface. So it is kind of like just a revamped sort of like visual skin and stuff like that. But it is a shame that some of the like things from the original haven't been addressed, obviously. And like I'm not expecting the game to be built from the ground up again, but I know a remaster, I feel like I feel like if there's bugs in the first one, you should fix them for the remaster, if that makes sense. I really do hope that I'm not being too harsh. These are just honest thoughts, opinions, and experience while playing the game. So some bugs, I've noticed that if you place a plant down and then you place something too close to the plant will like bug out and move, and then when you go to pick it up, it pretty much deletes itself and you have to rebuy it. That's something that is also in the original. Another bug I saw, 2 of the windows I put in for this house specifically, if I would leave the game and then come back, they would sort of like uncolor themselves. They'd be sort of like default color, so I'd have to go in, and luckily the modify tool works on these windows, but I'd have to go in and change the color of them every single time I would like log out of the game and then log back in, which was a little bit annoying. While doing the back garden, every time I would move a piece of furniture, the grass would like poke through the paving slabs, so I'd have to pick up each slab and like cancel it so that it would just go back down and then the grass would disappear. Sometimes while like looking in a specific direction, I noticed this while I was doing the tour for this build, some items would sort of like blip out of existence, mainly the painting on the wall in the living room. If I was looking in a certain direction, it would sort of like disappear from my peripheral, and then it would like pop in when I pan back around to it. I don't know if that's a bug. It was just something that I noticed that was kind of like irritating me a little bit. But yeah, trying to go to a new building or a house, for me the game would crash, not to my desktop, but it literally just would not load it. It was stuck on the loading screen for ages, and my only way out of it was to Alt F4 and so like reload the game. So that was just a little bit irritating. I don't know how many of them are like, I guess, bugs. I mean, some of them are bugs, like the windows changing color, like defaulting themselves even though I've changed them, leaving the game and coming back, they would not keep the color, and also the plant being on the shelf, and then if you place something a little bit too close to it, it will sort of like wiggle itself out, and then you'd go to pick it up to readjust it because now it's fallen, but then it would just like blip out of existence and be deleted. That was in the original as well. So as much as the game does look nice in some aspects, it is very much just a sort of like refreshed visuals, which, I mean, they don't claim that it's obviously been like built from the ground up or anything. I don't know if I'm just being maybe a little bit too nitpicky at the moment, but yeah, it is definitely like there is a huge visual difference between the two of them. So the colors for items are really nice as well. Some I think are better than others. Some store items are missing their previews. The colors in the tablet for items sometimes look different to when you actually buy the item and you see it in person. Obviously it's not such a big deal, if the modifying tool actually works on the item, so you can just like change it there and then without having to constantly go into the store. I do have some more comparison shots and stuff at the end of this video, and there is definitely an undeniable difference between the colors and the overall look of the game, like the environments, the buildings, everything like that. It definitely does look different and it does look beautiful. But just for like the filter, having the other sort of like sections in the game that, again, it might just be me that's finding some items far too bright, and some items have lost detail to me, whereas others have obviously like got detail and stuff, and just overall it just seems like a mixed bag in my opinion. I think if you already own all of the DLCs, it could be worth considering if you're a huge House Flipper fan, and especially a fan of the original. If you're somebody who has just jumped into House Flipper 2 and you've never played the original, then it would be a very different experience. And again, if you do choose to do that, don't try and like think that it's just going to be like House Flipper 2, because they are very, very different. I don't think it would be fair to go into it with expectations of it being like the second one. It's very different, and it's not developed by the same team who made the second one. So yeah, if you're a huge fan of the original and you love the original, then, and you have all of the DLCs, it could be worth it if that's something that obviously you're interested in. But if you're gonna come to this from the second one, I think it's going to be a very big difference for people who have played the second one and never given the original a look in type thing, if that makes sense. So with that being said, I like it, but I don't love it. If I personally wanted to play the original House Flipper, I would play the 2018 version, the very first. I hate to say it, as like I am a huge House Flipper fan. Both the first and the second are in my like top 5 most played games on Steam, with thousands of hours in each of them. I don't know if a fancy new look is enough for me personally. Like, I don't know if the overhaul of the visuals is enough for me to choose playing this one over the original. Obviously, like, if I wanted to do one of the new homes that come out with the like lovely content stuff, then I would have to choose this one. And I would definitely like to renovate those, but yeah, I just don't know if personally for me it's enough that it just looks visually different. Of course, these are just my own personal like opinions after playing the game and everything like that, and it feels like stupid for me to say this again, but we all have like different opinions. Some of you may love this, some of you may not, and neither are right or wrong. Like, you like what you like to play, all that kind of stuff. It's all personal preference, and hopefully like we can all make up our own minds whether we like something or not without having too much influence from like somebody else. I mean, I hope my videos help you guys like see sort of what the game is like and stuff, and if you agree with me or anything like that, or if you don't agree with me, do let me know in the comments, because I would love to know your opinions. We all have different ones, and I would just really like to know what you think. So yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on the Remastered Collection. Will you be playing it? Are you excited for it? If you do play it, then I would love it if you wanted to come back to this video and let me know what you think of it, if you really are enjoying it, all that kind of stuff. I would really like to know. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the chattiness for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I've tried to make it as structured as possible. There will be timestamps as well, hopefully. Hopefully it's not all over the place and stuff like that. I know I have a tendency to ramble, but hopefully you're here for it. We are a little like commentary builds channel now, which I'm just really enjoying, having a chat about the different builds and stuff like that. And I enjoy doing the videos like this. Hopefully, again, I haven't come across too harsh. Like, I do like it, I just don't love it. But yeah, the renovation of this build will continue, and there's a tour at the end, as well as some more like comparisons and stuff like that if you wanted to check them out or skip around, anything like that. Also, I do have a Sakura DLC themed build coming next, which I'm incredibly excited about, and I want to move into it right away. I am so pleased with how it turned out, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I'm just in the process of editing it at the moment, so that will be coming soon. I honestly wasn't expecting to sort of like do this video this week, but I am incredibly grateful, and again, huge thank you to Frozen Way and Frozen District for providing me with the game. I really do appreciate it, and I really love doing like little videos like this, checking it out and stuff like that. But yeah, also let me know in the comments if you would like me to do another renovation in the Remastered Collection, maybe one of the new homes. I would like to do one of the new homes because there's two of them specifically that really catch my eye, and I would like to renovate them. I do have some plans. I would like to hop back into the original at some point as well, because I was working my way through that and renovating all of the houses there as well. But yeah, do let me know if you have any house suggestions, either for the original, the remaster, or House Flipper 2, anything like that. I really, really do appreciate you guys being here so much. So thank you so much for taking the time to check out this video. Leave a comment, leave a like, don't forget to subscribe if you like what you see here and you would like to see some more renovation and custom build videos. Also check out some of the other videos that I've done, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, bye!